Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today in this video we'll be making this beautiful dress. The only difference with this and that of the thumbnail is the sleeve. This particular one has a sleeve. I also did not use a wadding or a padded for this dress. If you're yet to subscribe, kindly subscribe and let's get into the video. For this tutorial I made use of African paints, and what I made use of is 2.5 yards and half yard of a crepe fabric. Okay, so now I will first of all draft out the pattern on my lining piece so that it will be visible enough. I just marked her bust point, under bust, and then her waistline, and then I will mark her shoulder line of 7 inches. And then I'll come down by 1 inch for our shoulder slope, and now I'll connect it into the neck width just like this. After doing that, I'll measure our armhole, and then I'll mark it 7 inches, and then I drew a line. I'll connect it like so to a straight line just like this. After doing that, I'll measure what I have here. I'll divide that by 2. I'll make a mark there, and then on that mark I'll go in by ½ inch just like this. Then I'm going to mark her bust measurement on this line like this, and then I'll connect all these into the armhole to create my armhole. After doing that, you should have something like this. And then now to create the neckline, this depends on what you want and how you want your neckline to be. For her, I came down by 6 inches because she does not want her cleavage to show at all. So I'm using 6 inches, and I just drew a line like this. And then next thing I'll be doing is to mark her nipple to nipple, which is 3.5 inches, but I marked 4 inches because I'm cutting directly on the fabric. So go ahead and add ½ inch to your nipple to nipple measurement. So after doing that, I will just go ahead and label this. This is the shoulder line, this is the chest line, this is the bust line, this is the under bust line, and this is the waist, and that's the allowance. So now what I'll do is to take our dart. To do that, towards this side, going to this armhole side, I took 1 inch from the under bust and the waist, and then on this other side I took ½ inch, and I just drew it all the way down. So on the bust line I came down by 1 inch, and then I'll connect it to this dart that I already have like this. So now to create our shoulder dart as well, to get rid of any baldness around that area, what I'll do is to take 1 inch towards the armhole and then ½ inch towards the center front. Okay, and then I went up by 1 inch from the bust line as again, and then I'll just connect it. So after doing that, this is what I have. So now what I'll be doing is to create her, because this is a sweetheart neckline. Okay, it's a sweetheart neckline. And so what I'll do is, from this my new neckline, this mark here, I'll come down by 1 inch and I'll connect it like this. Okay, this is because you can as well go down by 2 inches depending on how much cleavage you want to show. So after doing that, we have to replace this 1.5 inch. If not, we'll end up having shortage. Okay, so I just replaced it outward like that, and then I also replaced it on my bust line, and then on my shoulder slope I'll also replace the 1.5 inch that we took. After that, I'll go ahead and connect all these lines together. Okay, so now we'll be creating a new armhole basically. So now this is what we have. Now this, it will also affect our neck. So what I'll do now is to take the 1.5 inch from this my neck width that I already have. I just marked 1.5 inch. So now we have a new neckline. So now what is left for us is to create our Queen Anne neckline. For to do that, I just extended this my neckline like so into the armhole, and then I came in by 2.5 inches. You can do any inches that you want, and I'll connect it to my neck width. You can choose to connect it straight, or you can choose to make a curve. This is totally depends on what you want. Okay, so I just created my own Queen Anne neckline. After doing this, all we need to do now is to go ahead and cut this pattern out. Okay, we have not placed our body measurement, so I placed my stitching allowance of 1.5 inch, and then I came to the waist. I'll mark our waist circumference measurement, and then I'll replace this dart that we took earlier on, and then I'll add 1.5 inch for the stitching allowance. After this, I'll just connect it into a straight line, and that's basically it. So now we'll go ahead and cut this out. After cutting it out, do not forget to notch your bust point. So I'll use this piece to cut it out on my fabric. So for the back piece, I have a zipper allowance. I'll just label this as my zipper allowance, and I have a starting line, I have my bust line and my waistline. So I would go ahead and mark her shoulder measurement of 7 inches, and then her neck width of 3 inches, and then I'll come down here by 1/2 inch, and then I'll connect it. Then I'm going to mark a armhole of like so, and then I'll draw a straight line just like this. After doing this, I'll now mark her bust measurement. After marking her bust measurement, I'll just create the armhole like this, and then I'll mark the neck depth for the back. So the neck depth for the back will be 2.5 inches, and I'll just connect it like so. So go ahead and mark your desired neckline. After doing that, I'm going to take her nipple to nipple on the bust and on the waistline. I'll also extend this chest line because I'll be marking her nipple to nipple as well on the chest line, just like this. I'll connect it into a straight line, and then I'm going to take 1/2 inch on the waistline on both sides. So I'll take 1/2 inch here and 1/2 inch here as well, and then I'll connect it to the chest line. After connecting to the chest line, what I'll do now is to place her body measurement. So I just placed her bust plus the stitching allowance, and then here I'll replace this dart and I'll also add stitching allowance. So I went ahead to connect it together, and that's all. So to get rid of zipper bulge, I just extended the waistline, and then from the zipper allowance I came in by 1/2 inch, and I just connected it slantedly just like this, just to get rid of zipper bulge at the back of the dress. So after doing this, just go ahead and cut this out. So for the neckline, ensure you extend it to the zipper area, okay, then you cut it out. I also use this to cut on the fabric. So I've cut out the front piece on the fabric, and you can see what we have. So what I'll do now is to also notch the bust point on the fabric, and then I'm going to open it up, place it right side facing right side, and just stitch it down using 1/2 inch. So this is what it is looking like after I was done stitching it down. You can see that bustier effect. Okay, you can go ahead and add wording to yours, okay, if you want to, but my client said she does not want a wording. So go ahead and make notches on the under bust, after which you open your seams flat, like this and iron it. Okay, so after doing that, we'll go ahead and attach it to the lining. So this is the lining. I did the same thing for the lining. You can see the bustier effect is showing very well on the lining piece. So place your lining right side facing right side, and we'll be stitching it on the neckline and the side. So to stitch it on the neckline, you can just stitch from here like so to the other side. Okay, or better still, you can start from the middle, from this middle, stitch it all the way down. From this other middle, you stitch it down. Whichever one works for you is fine. So after doing that, this is what I have. Then go ahead and make notches around the neck area, then trim off any excesses that you have, after which you flip this to the right side and give it a good press. So this is what I have. You can see how beautiful and neat this is looking. So we'll go ahead and do join that of the back. So for the back, all you need to do is to open it up like this, place it right side facing right side, and then you'll be stitching the neckline, just the neckline, the zipper area, and the other side. Okay, the neckline and the two sides, that's just what you'll be zipping stitching. So for the skirt part, I have a starting line and I have my zipper line at the back. So what I'll do is just to come down and mark her hip line of 9 inches, and then on the starting line, which is known as the waistline, I'll mark her waist circumference measurement, and I'll add 1 inch to that because I'm not adding a dart to this. Okay, so I just added 1 inch, and then for the hip, I placed her hip measurement and I also added 1 inch. So I'll go ahead and connect together. So I'll measure what I have here, and then I'll place it at the bottom of the skirt, after which I'll connect it into a straight line, and then I'll cut this out. So now to join you can see that my lining is shorter. Okay, so that's how I want to join it. So my lining is shorter than the fabric. So what I'll do now is to place it right side facing right side, just like this, and then I will start joining from the down part. I'll stitch the down part first, then I'll stitch the two sides, bring it out from the top part, and trim off any excess lining I have basically. Okay, so this is what I have. You can see how it will look like when you are done. Now I will join the front piece of the skirt with that of the top together, and I'll repeat the same thing for the back piece as well. I'll join it like so, right side facing right side, and I'll join it. So this is the loop, the ruffles. This is the fabric I'm using for the ruffles. It is 5 inches by width, and the length is over 120. So what I'll do is to fold one end like so, fold this other end like this, and then I'll make a gather stitch on one side. So I have already marked her body measurement on the top, on the dress rather, as you can see. So I just marked her body measurement like so. So now I'll be placing the ruffles on that body measurement. Okay, so I'll be placing it right side facing right side. So this is how you should place it. So you can see how I'm attaching it, right side facing right side, just like this, and then I'll go ahead and stitch it down. Okay, so I'll first of all stitch it down before attaching the back piece to the dress. I'll repeat the same thing for this other side as well. So after attaching it, look at what I have. It is looking so beautiful already. I love the dress. It came out well. And then next thing I'll be doing is to place the back piece on top of the front piece. So this is my slits for the back. Okay, and then to attach your zipper, just measure where you want your zipper to stop. Okay, so that's just how you do that. Basically, it's not difficult at all. So now to fold the shoulder, I'll be a bit slow so that you understand. To fold the shoulder, you carry one of the piece and put it in between either the front piece like this, and then you stitch it down, or you open the two front and back piece like so, join the shoulder together and then stitch it down. So I think that's the two simplest ways you can join your shoulder neatly. So I just went ahead to mark her body measurement on the back piece again, and then after measuring it, I'll just go ahead and stitch it all the way down. After stitching it, this is what I have. Look at how neat and beautiful this top is. So, and I also attached her zipper. So my client wants a sleeve for her own top, for her own dress. So I just folded the fabric into two. I measured the length of the sleeve, and then I came down by 4 inches. I measured her armhole on that 4 inches, and I just connected like so. And then on this side I measured around arm on that side, and then on the but on the length of the sleeve, that was why I measured her around arm, and then I just cut it out. So I'll be cutting out 2 pieces of this, and then I'll be attaching it to the dress. I'm so sorry that I could not show you how I attached it, but anyways, that's basically it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for stopping by. If you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any question, please leave it in the comment section. I'll see you guys.